Okay, what if you had an actual blueprint for reality? I mean, a way to architect not just your own experience, but the world itself. Sounds pretty out there, right? But that's the bold promise of a workshop we're about to explore. And its core ideas, well, they might just change how you see everything. So let's dive right in.
You know, this lyric about a dream world on a pedestal, it just nails this trap we all fall into. We're trying to control everything and everyone around us just to keep ourselves happy. We put our world on this fragile pedestal and spend all our energy terrified that it's all going to come crashing down. But what if the real power isn't in controlling the world at all? What if it's in mastering our response to it?
And that question brings us to the very first step in this blueprint for reality. It all starts by challenging one single fundamental belief that holds so many of us back, this idea that we're powerless.
So this workshop really reframes a core concept in a lot of recovery programs. A counselor, a guy named JR, he challenges this whole idea of admitting you're powerless. He actually argues the exact opposite, that real healing, it doesn't start with powerlessness. It starts with the powerful act of taking responsibility for your choices.
JR just puts it so bluntly with this quote, "Wine never jumped down my throat." It's so direct, but it's incredibly powerful, right? The choice, the action, that was always his. And he explains that taking responsibility for that action was the key that finally unlocked his ability to heal from it.
So, the crucial takeaway here is that the identity you claim for yourself is absolutely everything. Saying, I am an alcoholic creates one reality. But saying, I am a person who chooses not to drink, well, that creates another reality entirely. Those two simple words, I am, they're the first lines you write in your own personal blueprint.
So, how does all this work, like mechanically? The workshop proposes that this isn't some kind of magic. It's a formula. It actually lays out the exact mental steps that we all take to build our reality, moment by moment.
So how does it work? I mean, how does something that happens out there become the feeling, the experience that we have in here? Well, the answer lies in this 6-step process that our minds are running constantly in the background.
All right, here's the formula. First, something happens, an external event. Immediately, our mind filters that event through our personal data, our memories, our biases, all our beliefs. Based on that filter, we create our own personal truth about what just happened. That truth then triggers a specific thought. The thought generates an emotion, and that emotion becomes our final experience. And that's what we call reality.
But here's the critical flaw in the system. Because this whole process is filtered through our unique personal data, the reality we experience, it's not objective. It's a customized story our mind tells us about the event. The workshop has a name for this, a distorted reality.
And how often are we living in that distorted reality? Get this. According to the speaker, 95% of people are living in a distorted reality 95% of the time. Think about that. We are constantly reacting to the stories playing out in our own heads, not the world that's right in front of us.
So, if the path of the mind leads to this distorted reality, is there another way? The workshop argues, yes, absolutely. There is an alternative to just reacting to the world. You can actually create it, starting from a different place entirely, the soul.
This slide lays out the two paths perfectly. You've got the path of the mind, which is totally reactive. It starts with an external event and then tumbles down that formula we just looked at. But the path of the soul, that's proactive. It starts with an internal state of being that you choose first.
So how do you actually walk this second path? It's not about trying to change what happens to you. It's about deciding who you're going to be in the face of it. You don't wait for an event to make you feel peaceful or joyful. You choose to start with peace and joy.
And this brings us to the final and honestly the most powerful part of the whole blueprint. This is the single choice that unlocks this entire ability to create your own reality. This is the master key.
The master key is this concept called beingness. And as the slide says, it's an internal state that is an arbitrary decision. What does that mean? It means it's a state you choose, completely independent of whatever's going on around you. You don't need a reason to be happy or an event to feel peaceful. You simply decide to be.
This is maybe the most freeing idea in the entire workshop. It's arbitrary. It doesn't need to be justified. It's a choice you are totally free to make in any given moment. You can just decide who you're going to be right here, right now.
And this isn't just a personal tool. It has world-changing implications. The speaker gives this incredible example. If you want to change a culture, you just teach its 8-year-olds a new story about who they are.
In just 10 to 15 years, that new story becomes their reality, and the entire culture shifts. It suggests that our biggest problems aren't permanent. They're just the result of a story that's ready to be rewritten. So the ultimate takeaway is this. Real power isn't in reacting to the world, hoping it'll make you feel a certain way. It's in realizing that your most fundamental choice, the choice of who to be, requires zero permission and no external trigger. It is entirely and powerfully up to you.
So we're left with this final, powerful question. Knowing that your state of being is a completely arbitrary choice that you can make right here and now, who do you choose to be?